What's up, y'all? It's your boy Chris from Afro Beets back at again, and today we're going to be talking about how to decide what to actually grow in your garden. So I'm in the process of starting the fall crops in the middle of summer. I'm trying to get an early start, get my crops going so they're ready to go. I've learned so much from living in my new space, and now I need to decide, what do I actually want to grow? And so I'm going to give you the criteria, the blueprint of how I decide what I want to grow. If this video brings you any value, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more garden to table content. All right, let's get right into it. First, let's talk about variety. Okay, so when I talk about variety, I'm talking about the type of vegetable it is and the size of vegetable it is. Okay, let's talk about the type first. So the type, there's so many different varieties of vegetables that you can choose from. If you're growing tomatoes, you don't have to grow just red tomatoes. You can grow Roma tomatoes, which are more oval. You can grow green zebras that look just like it sounds. Green stripes. You can do rainbow. Like, there's a ton you can do. You have to find what's right for you. You also have to consider size. So if you're growing in containers like I am, you might want to consider a smaller variety. It's also a little bit easier to take care of depending on what you're doing. It needs a lot less water, thrives in small conditions. Also, when you're considering the type of vegetable, you want to consider, hey, maybe you don't want to grow all leafy greens, right? You don't want to just grow cabbage. You don't want to just grow collards, things like that. You want to diversify so you get a different experience with each thing you grow. So you might want to try rooted vegetables. You might want to try potted vegetables. You might want to try fruiting vegetables. So there's just so many different types of vegetables you can try. You should try to get every experience as much as possible. So I like to do a little bit of a mixture. I don't like to grow a lot of one thing unless that's your bag. If that's your bag, you do your thing. But I'm going to try it a little bit different. I'm going to switch it up every time. Next thing I consider that I feel like a lot of people don't consider is cultural relevance. When I say culture, I don't necessarily mean race or ethnicity, although it can be. And that's what I consider doing sometimes. I like to grow crops that are part of the African diaspora. That's my bag. That's what I love to do. I'll grow things like Scotch bonnet pepper. I'll grow things like collards and just things that interest me, and I can connect back to culture and learn more about myself in the process. But when I say culture, I'm also talking about family culture. What's your eating culture at home? What kind of foods do you guys traditionally eat? Are you an Italian family? Are you a family that likes, Chinese and Asian foods? Those are things you can consider. For example, if you like a lot of pastas, if you like a lot of Italian style foods, you might want to grow eggplants. You might want to grow parsley. You might want to grow basil. All those things are part of that cuisine. Now, if you are more Asian with what you do, you might go bok choy. There's specific Asian greens you can do. There's different types of specific onions that are catering specifically to different Asian cuisines. So those are things to think about. It's a full range, but I think cultural perspective on how you eat is super important. Let me know in the comments below, what is your food culture? What do you eat in your households? Next thing you need to consider is seasonality. What time of the year is it? What can you actually grow? You're not going to be able to grow tomatoes in the fall. You're not going to be able to grow certain things at this time of year if you're just starting. But you can grow a lot, and you'd be surprised at what you can grow in different seasons, such as the fall. So for me, I'm thinking of butternut squash. I'm thinking of different types of peas I can do. I'm thinking of Swiss chard. I'm thinking of like I said, collards. And so things that do well in the fall, that's what I'm starting right now. So you have to consider it season by season. Whatever season you're growing for, that's the season you need to consider. And then I'll say for the last part, you want to consider lifestyle, okay? So how accessible will you be to your garden during your growing season? Are you going to be busy? Do you need something on the easier side? Do you have the time to play around with it? We are in COVID. We have a lot of time, some of us. It depends on your situation. So, if you need something a little bit easier that's going to kind of manage itself and take care of itself, you might want to consider herbs, leafy greens. Those things you might only have to water once a day. And that's pretty much it. You just kind of let them grow, cut them as needed, and take care of them in that kind of way. Now, if you're going for a medium level effort. You might have to do a little bit more with like rooted vegetables and your potted vegetables. Some of those you might have to trellis. You know, with potatoes, if you're doing something in like tubulars in the ground, you're gonna have to adjust the soil levels to meet the needs of the potato and how much light it's actually gonna receive. And then if you want something a little bit harder, you might deal with fruited vegetables and, you know, with tomatoes, with eggplants, different squashes, things like that. That all takes trellising, that takes a lot of pruning. And so what is your lifestyle? How much time, how much effort can you put towards something? Because there's nothing like starting a project and then being like, man, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, you don't want that. You don't want that. Don't put in all that effort and then just waste it. Like, you really gotta focus in. Eye on the prize. Eye on the prize. Well, that's it for today, y'all. That's all I have for this topic. Make sure to share this with your fellow gardeners, your fellow foodies, who's thinking about starting a new garden, you know? Also, if you're just getting started on your growing journey or just want to learn more, make sure to download our Grow at Home checklists in the description below. You can join our email list, become part of the tribe, and just really get on this ride with me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And remember, keep moving to the beat of your own drum. Talk to you soon. Peace.